Welcome to the JCPod, partner with Stay On Sports. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and man, it's already time for week 2. It doesn't feel like this season's going to fly by, isn't it? It feels like week 1 just ended. We just talked about it yesterday where it finally felt like, took the deep breath, finally just got all that week 1 overload out, and now it's, got to get ready for week 2. So today, you know how it's going to roll. Pickem Thursday, so we got Pickem, NFL bets, college football bets. I will say this is going to be phase 1. I will have a phase 2, which is pretty much just me adding 2 or 3 more bets. If you're curious about that, feel free to check out Stay On Sports. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I'll admit, I usually will record this video. I give out 90% of the bets I like, and then I'll usually find about 5 to 6 in the NFL, 5 to 6 in college football that I like. That's like, oh, hey, I wish I would have gave that out. So I add that to the article. So if you're curious for some of that information, those will be getting released. I'll have one for Thursday night football, have one for college football Saturday, and then should have one Saturday for NFL football Sunday. So if you're curious about any of those bets, feel free to check that out. But without any further ado, let's hop right into Pick'em before we give out the NFL and college football bets. So heading over into Pick'em, as you can see, 12-4 record overall, 104 points out of 118, not horrible at all. Shout out to my boy Danny, who, if the Jets would have won, would have had a nuclear lead in the first. Yeah, I mean, it's just not too bad overall. As you can see, it's kind of a close battle between everybody. And shout out my boy Rowan. Rough week for that boy. Well, as you can see it on the overview. We'll kind of look at the weekly performance real quick. Okay, here we go. This is what I meant to go to the first time. Yes, so as you can see, not horrible. The game that hurt really bad, I will say, Tennessee absolutely blew that game. That would have made, that puts, my mother, who was in first, at 103. They're at 108. I mean, it's literally the difference. I mean, I'm not going to say Chicago's the reason we lost the week, or Tennessee is, because I think we would have had to pick another game right, but that one hurt. The Cincinnati one, that just sucked. They just played horrible. We're going to have to remember that for next year. Put that in the back of the brain that, yes, next year, Bengals start slow. They start beyond slow, especially in the Zach Taylor, I believe, is their coach. The Zach Taylor, Joe Burrow era. Lamar Jackson is back at practice. That's going to be helpful for later. But as you can see, overall, not a bad week. Missed 1 less pick than the people in first and second. 2 less than second. And, second missed 20 points. I missed 32. I'll admit, should have flipped the Kansas City, Philadelphia, or Atlanta. Atlanta should have been a 1 or a 5. It should not have been 9. Especially after seeing how our boy Kirk Cousins played. That one, I'll admit, I'm kind of pissed at myself for that 9. Past that, though, I'm not too mad with the rest of the numbers. The rest of the numbers felt good. A lot of nerve-wracking games. I wish I would have made Dallas a higher number. I didn't realize Cleveland was just going to be horrible. That was a shocker. Yeah, past that, been pretty solid, pretty happy with how everything else turned out. Sucks we didn't get first, but good solid starting point to hopefully move on into week 2. And with that being said, let's go to week 2. I'll admit, first game, I'm picking Buffalo. I was shocked that Miami kind of won that game last week. They kind of come back to stole it. Raheem Mostert is out. Devon Achane just practiced a little bit today, but I don't believe he was limited at all in any capacity. But the fact that he was injured and he would have missed practice yesterday if they practiced, I'm going to take the Bills. Dolphins are already kind of banged up. That's a little bit scary for them. I also did not like their performance really until, they should have lost the game to Jacksonville last week. But, hey, they had a good play to help change the momentum. I'll admit, I don't think Buffalo's won in Miami in a while. That might be something that is a bit concerning. I do think Buffalo will win in the cold at the end of the year. I just can't get myself fully around taking Miami, especially after what I saw against Jacksonville. Especially, it helps that this is a Thursday night game. If this is a Sunday night game, I probably lean a little bit towards Miami just to go with the home factor, but anything can happen in some of these division games, and I think I got to go Buffalo. I just can't get myself around. HM will probably play, like I said, no Mostert. I just can't get myself to take the Dolphins after what I saw. I was trying to look up a stat real quick to see when was the last time Buffalo won in Miami. It's going to be hot. That might become an issue, but seeing how Josh Allen played against the Cardinals and they came back. The Buffalo didn't look too good either last week, but won't be horrible. We'll take them. Hopefully they'll play a little bit better this week. Dallas over New Orleans. We're going to take Dallas. New Orleans pretty much had a tune-up game last week, so now they actually have a true better test against Dallas, so I think we'll be able to win that. Detroit against Tampa. I will take Detroit here. Tampa showed me really good last week. Detroit, kind of sketch, but I think this is gonna be a really fun game to watch at 1. Colts over Green Bay. Colts all day. Malik Willis is gonna be starting. That boy ain't good. I'm not gonna sit here and trash him, obviously, because kid's in the NFL and he obviously takes some time to get to the NFL. But I believe the stat I saw was he has 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That ain't good. And the fact that Malik Willis is starting for him, Jordan Love is out. Jordan Love is in this game. Totally different game for me where it's like, ooh, man, I just don't know if I can get myself fully around to taking the Colts. But Colts are favored. I do think the Colts should win this game. If they lose, I will admit, if the Colts lose this game, it will be probably because the offense completely stunk, and that means the defense had to give up a shit ton to Malik Willis, which I just don't see happening. So I'm on any there. Jets, Tennessee. Tennessee looked horrible last week. I'll take New York Jets here. San Fran, Minnesota. Minnesota didn't look horrible last week, but San Fran looks like they might be back. Christian McCaffrey might not play, though, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on there. Seattle, New England. I will take Seattle. But, man, I'm going to put some respect on New England because they impressed me last week with how they played defensively. Now it's just a question of, was that more of the Bengals issue? Was that more of a Bengals issues or more of a miscalculation on New England? We'll have to see this week. Kirstie and DeMondre Stevenson will play. Washington, New York. I'm only going to take Washington for the fact that I got New York to be the longest team, what's the best way to word that? Longest winless team? Is that the way to word it? The team that will go the longest without winning. Last remaining winless team. I guess that's the best way to put it. I have the Giants as that. I did have the Vikings as well, just because I thought because Vikings have a horrendous schedule. But I think it's going to be between one of those teams. But, man, I tell you what. I forget what I took for the Panthers because I think I either can't find the Panthers one or I forgot to take the Panthers. But, man, that one might have not been too bad either the way they're looking. Chargers, Carolina. Speaking of Panthers, Chargers should roll in this one. If they don't, that's going to be concerning. Jacksonville, Cleveland. I am going to take Jacksonville. Jacksonville should have won that game last week if they don't fumble. But, man, Cleveland did not look too good either. This is going to be an important week for me to evaluate both these teams coming into this game because these are two teams who I thought, I'm not going to say the Jacks underperformed, but blowing the game in the second half, that was kind of underwhelming, and the Cleveland Browns were underwhelming completely overall. So, battle of the two underwhelming teams for two completely different situations. I think Jacksonville is set up a little bit better than Cleveland overall, especially at the quarterback position, so I have Jacksonville getting it done there. Baltimore should roll Las Vegas, especially if their offense is going to continue to struggle like it did against the Chargers. Rams, Arizona. I'll admit, I'm really torn on this one. I'm going to take the Rams, but I'm not going to be shocked if the Arizona wins. This is probably going to be one of my lowest points of the week. This should be a fun game. This is going to be a really fun division game. Pittsburgh, Denver. This is going to be probably one of the things where I'm not going to take Denver until they win a game. Potentially. I got to see. Let me check their schedule real quick because I need to see a little bit more out of Denver. I didn't mind what I saw at Bo Nix's first game. Could have been way better, though, honestly. So we're going to have to we're just going to keep an eye on it to see if they get any better. But schedule-wise, so they got the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's Bucks, Jets, Raiders, Chargers, Saints, Panthers. So I might take them against Raiders game. Might pick the Raiders in that game. But Saints, Panthers, I might be taking the Broncos in that one, especially with the Sean Payton revenge game against the Saints. That's going to be fun. Kansas City, Cincinnati. Going to take Kansas City here. I think it's going to be an 0-2 start for Cincinnati, especially since they lost to New England. That's a must-win game. That's going to be... I tell you what, you want to talk about a weird way to start a season? 1-1, but you lose to Patriots but beat Kansas City. That'd be because I bet you most people had the Bengals going 1-1 to start the season, but it wasn't beating the Chiefs. Houston, Chicago. Give me Houston there. Caleb Williams threw for 93 yards. Caleb Williams threw for 93 yards. Let me try that a little bit slower. C.J. Stroud isn't going to throw the same dumbass interception that Will Levis threw. So I'm going to pick the Texans there, and then Philadelphia, Atlanta. Until Kirk Cousins shows me that he can move a little, yeah. I'm actually going to make that a 17-24 as well, just to make a little bit of difference. And then Chicago, we'll do another 17-24. Who's going to score the most this week? Who played? I want to say the Chargers, but they aren't going to be trying to run up the score like that. So we'll go with Washington, probably, or we'll go San Fran. Why not? San Fran will score the most. Who'll score the least? We'll just put. Where are they at? Am I stupid? That took way too long. That took way too long to find. But moving on, we will be taking. I guess it's who scored the fewest. We'll just go. I'll just go Vegas. I don't know if they'll score the least, but Okay, so now we got to go to the point distribution part. Let's see. Chargers playing Carolina. That's a 16 right there. No way Harbaugh. No way in hell Harbaugh is losing to the Panthers. I don't want to say this is my lock of the week, but I am going to be Chargers minus 6.5. We'll be talking about that here in a minute. Baltimore, Vegas. I do think this is, especially I think Baltimore will be able to should win this game. 14. We'll probably put. I don't want to put Kansas City. We'll probably put. This is a primetime game, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. If this was a Sunday night or Sunday game at 4, I'd probably put a 13-14. Sunday game at 1, I put a 14-15 because I just think that I think primetime does make the players play a little bit harder and does make the game a little bit more stressful. But yeah, I don't see how they lose that there. I'm actually going to switch this as well just to be a little bit safe. 14-13. I do want to take the Jets over Tennessee as a high pointer, so we'll put that to 10. Good chance that goes up. Colts will put a 9. I think they should win. I'm going to be so heartbroken if Colts lose that game. No joke. If Colts lose that game, man, oh my God, we're going to have some issues. The only way I think the Colts lose that game is if AR just plays horrendous. Texans will put... we might flip this, actually. We might do... No, we'll leave it. Put an 8 on Houston. I do think Houston wins this game against Chicago. I think they'll play well. So we got 13. And actually, I might do... I might flip it around like this. Am I stupid? I meant to put a 12 there. Oops. I'm going to be pissed if the Jets lose this. I usually don't like putting huge numbers on road teams, but this is another situation where I think it's a get-right game for the Jets. I just don't see how, especially Tennessee blowing the game against the Bears, I just don't see how they go from blowing a game against. Don't get me wrong. Bears defense is really good, but this offense is going to be a little bit better than what the Tennessee played last week, so I think that, yeah, it could get, we might see some issues. Pittsburgh, Denver, wait, I'm point-wise. I think we're going to make this the 3-point game for right now. 1-point game will go... What game do I not... I will say, this might actually be... As of right now, it's Jacksonville, Cleveland, but no, it's not. Immediately took that back. Pittsburgh, Denver, I'll do 3. We'll do 4. Kansas City, Cincinnati, actually, I'll do a... 6. Washington, New York. This feels like a true toss-up, honestly. Both these teams are bad, but I mean, it feels like as if the Commanders should win that game, but we'll just have to see. I might, you know what, we'll go reverse order. So we'll do 3-2-1 down the line. Washington, New York will be my 1-point game. Seattle, New England might be my 1-point game. We'll make this like the 4. We'll just bump all these up pretty much 1 until we get to the number we want. 6. So that's fine. So now I got, we'll just do it the other way as well with this, where we go 11, 12. Oh, brother. 13 on the Jets is going to be sketchy. But if they, I mean, I'm just not. Tennessee's last game, oh my God. After Will Levis did that, yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit. We'll just, I trust CJ Stroud, I think, a slight bit more. We'll just flip that by 1, and then I guess this can be... We'll just do 7, and then... Actually, I lied. I like the 8 being there. Okay. I think it's going to do it for picks. I'll admit, number-wise this week, a little bit sketchy. Felt good at the beginning, and then we got towards the middle where I had some big numbers, some small numbers, and it's like, oh, boy. But as you can see, we got a few people as well who also submitted their picks. Shout out my boy, Rowan. Submitted his shit, but this is what we're looking at. Games I like the most. Colts. Colts should beat the Packers. If they don't, that's kind of concerning, especially for the offense. Especially for the defense, excuse me, because if Malik Willis shows I'll admit, I don't want to keep saying this, but if Malik Willis shows up, I'm going to be truly surprised, and that's going to be, I don't know if I'm going to be concerned when I come back on next, or I'm going to be like, okay, maybe Malik Willis is a guy. But truly, I do think they should win that game. Houston gets Chicago. I think they should win that game as well. That's another game I kind of like. I like Chargers over Carolina. Carolina's just going to... I don't know how Carolina wins a game this year. San Fran over Minnesota like that. Games I'm nervous about. Nervous about Buffalo a little bit. Think they should win that game, but division games can get weird. Little a little nervous about Pittsburgh. I might actually fix that a little bit. And just like, I might move everything around. I don't want to mess with the numbers too much. I think I'd do that. I just don't know. I'll admit, I don't know. I'm still like the Washington Commanders game. Washington should have won that game. A little bit nervous. Number-wise is where I get boned the most in Pickem. I usually do pretty solid pick-wise where it's like I hit, well, if there was 16 games a week, I would say confidently, on average, I would say I'd go average about 10-6 most of the time. But sometimes that 6, there's a 12-13 in that 6. And it's like, man, I killed it this week pick-wise, but I had 2 bad numbers in wrong spots. But overall, I think this is what I like. I think we're probably going to stick with this. Not too much I want to change. The only reason I'll change anything is like really injury-wise. Seattle with a 1. That one I might move around a little bit. But I truly don't know about... I don't know about New England. That's the only thing that gets me. Is, I'm going to leave that. I truly don't know. I'm just going to leave it. I don't want to mess too much up. I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. I think Seattle's really good, but, I mean, the fact they're going on the road, and I just don't want to overreact too much to New England because I do think they're still going to be kind of tough. So we'll just do it reverse order like this. I think I'm okay with leaving it like that. I want to get a lower number on a game I'm a little bit more confused on. Leave a bigger number for Seattle because I do think Seattle can still win that game, but I think that's good. We'll leave it with that. So that's my picks for the week. If you want to screenshot to take a longer look, go with that. But now, without any further ado, we're going to head back to the gridiron and we're going to go over some NFL bets. As you can see, though, I pretty much already kind of went over my picks. So for the most part, you heard my breakdowns for a lot of the games. So I'm going to try not to say a lot of the stuff I just said there, but there's a good chance you might get some carryover. So without any further ado, I guess we should just go right down the games, eh? Right down the list, we'll start with Thursday Night Football. You got the Bills plus 2.5. I am going to be on the Bills plus 2.5. I'm going to give out... Excuse me. I'm going to give out the money. I'm going to give out the 2.5, but I'm also going to take the money line. Just for the simple fact that, yeah, I think the Bills are going to win this game. Generally think the Bills are going to win this game. I'm kind of shocked that they aren't favored. I mean, it's only 2.5, so it's not absolutely crazy. But I was honestly shocked to see, like, oh, they're plus money. That's kind of nice. It might only be plus 20, but I did like that part of it. Touchdown-wise, we're going to go back to the well, though. We're going to have James Cook anytime touchdown, plus 165. Josh Allen rushed both of them in last week, so he might not be a good head. Not a bad head option. Hedge. Jesus, man, words. I am not putting my words together very well. So, like I said, for the bets, we'll go Bills. Bills plus 2.5. I'm going to be taking the money line. Obviously, feel free to take either or if you want to be safer, but I'll probably sprinkle a bit of both. We're going to go James Cook anytime, which is like, I believe, plus 165 for him to score a touchdown anytime. But yeah, that does it for pretty much the Bills game. I don't think there's too much I'm going into it prop-wise. Obviously, feel free to check out my Nasty Boy. I'm probably going to have another prop or two as well to add on. I'm just waiting for them to fully announce like who's in, who's out, because it's going to be hard to pick props for the offense on the Dolphins side. As for the Bills side, I'm still trying to kind of figure out some of the guys that Josh Allen likes going to. So Josh Allen to score a touchdown is minus 110. So Josh Allen or James Cook, feel free to take either one of those two dudes. I'm going to give out James Cook, but I'm going to hedge it with Josh Allen as well. Just for the off chance that, like, oh, at least if Josh Allen scores, I'll lose, like, what? If it's, like, 50, minus 110, I'll lose, like, $5. So if I bet 50 on it, I'll lose 5. And then if our boy James Cook hits, I basically get 1.5 back. So regardless, it should work out. The only thing that's going to suck is if neither of them score. And then it's like, oh, we're down 2-0. Cowboys minus 6.5. Feel free to check out Stand On Sports for that one. I'm borderline close to giving that out. I just can't fully pull the trigger on it yet. I think the Cowboys should roll in this game. I don't see a reason they don't. Just for the fact that, I don't want to say that the Saints aren't good, but the Saints didn't play anybody. They played the Panthers. So this is their first true real test. I mean, so we're really gonna have to see how this team plays. I can't get fully around to it yet. I'm close, though. I will admit, I am very, very close. Very, very, very close to getting it, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. For touchdown-wise, Zeke Elliott, -110. CeeDee Lamb, -125. We'll go CD this week. I don't mind, what's his name? Zeke Elliott. I don't mind him at all. But I feel like we should get some. I'm just surprised he didn't score last week. So I'm hoping that he finds his way into the end zone this week. If not, Zeke Elliott, I don't think it's a bad play at all. Saints-wise, Taysom Hill, +280. I mean, he got one target in the end zone, but I'd probably end up just sticking with Alvin Kamara if I'm going to pick anybody. But also, this could be a game where the Saints don't score, so I'm probably not going to be taking any Saints props. And they don't even have... Yeah, they don't even have any of the rushing, receiving props like that up. So if I end up taking anything, that's going to be on the Stare Down Sports article as well. Lions, -7. I do think the Lions are going to win this game. I have a teaser, by the way. I'm going to give out at the very end. It's a 9-legger, I believe, where I got a lot of these -6.5 money lines down to like pretty much picks or minus a hook or minus a half pretty much. So I'll give that out at the end. I have the Lions in that one as well just because I think 7's pretty big. Gibbs and Monty both to score. One's -180, one's -165. I might stay away from both of those guys because I do think I almost want to go Amon-Ra. I just think the odds are too big. I think Gibbs or Monty are probably going to score. But, yeah, for -165, -180, I'm not going to mess around with that. Those odds are not worth me. Like, I'm not going to risk losing money on a -200 bet for it not to score or not to happen when it realistically should, according to the odds. I'd rather just play around with something else. Laporta +130, Amon-Ra +100 are I'm going to be looking at. So I'm going to put both those names down, but I might go Laporta just for the odds sake. But Amon-Ra kind of got... Him and Amon-Ra both kind of got shut out last week where they didn't receive as many targets as they probably should have. So I look for them to potentially get in the end zone this week. Don't mind either of those. If I'm going to pick somebody for the Bucks, Mike Evans +105. He scored 2 last week. NBA Jam alert if he does it for 3 weeks in a row. Rachaad White +125, not a bad option. Bucky Irving if he gets some snaps +350. He's the backup to Rachaad White. Cade Otton +290. I don't know. I'm definitely probably leaning towards Mike Evans or Rachaad White. I just haven't figured out who I want to take yet. But yeah, that's where I'm leaning for that Lions game. Yet again, another game where most of these games don't have any of the receiving or rushing props up, so most of those are going to be on Stare Down Sports. This is another one of those. Jags, Browns, I have nothing in this game really, -3.5 both sides. Of course, it's going to be 3.5 on both sides, but -3.5. Jaguars a favorite, Browns are +3.5. Travis Etienne +105 to score a touchdown. Not bad at all. Jerome Ford is +175. I'm actually going to take Jerome Ford to score a touchdown. I am nervous about Etienne because he fumbled out the back of the end zone. I'm not going to say he's going to get doghouse, but there's a chance that maybe they bring in Tank Bigsby to get 1 or 2 near the goal line. But I don't know, so I'm not going to look too much into it. Evan Ingram, though, is +175, so I might take him. Ingram is +175. So, yeah, we're going to take Evan Ingram as well. So, yeah, Jerome Ford, Evan Ingram are the 2 guys I'm going to pick in this game. Past that, I'm not going to be on a side. Don't know who's really going to take it at this game. I just want to at least have a touchdown score on each side so I can have some interest in this game. Another game, no props, pretty much rushing, receiving, all that because they aren't up. Another game, not up for Minnesota, San Francisco, but I am on the side. I'm on San Fran -6.5, -102. This is a game where, I'm not going to lie, they made the Jets defense look that bad. I can only imagine what they're going to do to the Vikings defense. This is a situation where I should easily, I'm not going to say easily, but the 49ers should win by, they should win this game at least by 6.5. If you want to do an alt spread, might not be a horrible play. I might. There's 2 or 3 alt spreads I'm considering this week. This is, I guess, one of them now. So if we go 49ers alt spread -9.5 is +150. Might not be bad. I'm going to write it down just to potentially... this is going to be one of those things where I'm going to probably talk about it and write the article, be like, hey, I'm taking the -6.5, but if you're feeling a little bit brave, which I might that day, sprinkle a little bit of -9.5 because I see the 49ers winning by 10+. This is a game they should win by 10+. I struggle to see how the Vikings are going to be able to keep it close. Another game that I struggle to see the other team keeping it close, where I might take another alt spread. Chargers -6.5. They're playing the Carolina Panthers. This is -110. Both these teams are on the road, so that's the only thing. If they're at home, I figure this is like almost a 10-point game. I don't think home field advantage will matter a little bit for Minnesota. They should have some. Carolina, that might as well be non-existent at this point. Man, it has to be tough to be Carolina Panthers fan right now. Minus 9.5 is plus 136. Minus 13.5 is plus 220. I would maybe go minus 9.5 at minus 136. I think there's a chance that this gets really ugly. It's just a matter of I don't think Harbaugh's going to run up the score per se, but it's just a matter of are they going to take the air completely out of the ball and just kind of put it in park, kill hella time, or are they actually going to... Because this is almost like... It's disgusting to say, but this is almost like a college game where obviously these are NFL players on an NFL team. Anybody can get got any day. But it's almost to the point where it's like, hey, we don't need to show everything we got against Carolina until they prove that they're a competitive team. Especially losing Derrick Brown on defense, that's going to hurt a lot for the Panthers. I just don't see how the Panthers are going to keep it close in this game. I think this is a game where the Chargers can win by 10 plus. So I'm for sure going to be taking the minus 6.5 at minus 110. But I also might look to sprinkle a little bit of minus 9.5 action. J.K. Dobbins to score a touchdown plus 140. Gus Edwards is plus 155. Pick whichever running back you want. Personally, for me, I'm going to take J.K. this week. Gus kind of burned me last week. I'm going to take J.K. to start, and if I can catch Gus live at some point, I'm probably going to take Gus live as well. Hopefully, if all things work out, but we'll see. I think J.K. Dobbins is potentially going to take over this backfield. I thought he looked really, really good. He said himself he's not fully in shape, that he should have He said on the Pat McAfee this week he should have broke away and scored a touchdown on one of those on the 64 with a 41-yard run. So, yeah, I think he's eventually going to take away this role. Not fully take away from Gus. Obviously, Gus is going to get some goal line work, but I think this is eventually going to become J.K. Dobbins' backfield that he shares with Gus, assuming he stays healthy. So I look for J.K. Dobbins to score in this game. Moving on, Ravens, minus 9.5. I'm going to stay away because it's a little bit too big. I do have the Ravens in the teaser, though, so I do look forward to giving that out. But touchdown-wise, Derrick Henry minus 190. That feels, I'm not going to say automatic, but that feels really, really good. For minus 190, though, that is tough. Justice Hill is plus 370, and that might be something maybe they sleep him in. That might be something I lean towards. I don't have anything in this game. I want to watch the Ravens a little bit more. Harbaugh has me a little bit concerned, especially after that whole, we didn't bring Derrick Henry here to give him 30 carries. We're going to spread the ball around to everybody, so one game might be this guy, one game might be this guy. That's not a horrible mindset to have, and when trying to pick touchdown scores, it's like, man, it's nice to have some trends. So if the trend's going to be, hey, whoever's game it is, we're going to give it to them. I might wait till live. Hopefully, the Raiders shut down the Ravens for a little bit, and then you can get Derrick Henry maybe like minus 125, minus 130, get decent odds. But yeah, this a little bit too big. For Derrick Henry to score 2+ touchdowns, plus 310. Disgusting odds for how low that is, but that is, if I was to take him to score at all, I'd be to score 2 touchdowns at plus 310. But yeah, like I said, got nothing in that game. Another game I don't have anything in, Seahawks-Patriots. Patriots, after last week, I want to see a little bit more. Wander Stevenson, the score is plus 130. Kenneth Walker is plus 145. And Charbonnet is also plus 145 as well. If Kenneth Walker plays, I like him to score. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to take nobody, honestly, at the running back position. Tyler Lockett at plus 200 kind of is tempting. I just don't know. The way that the Patriots defense played, it has me really, really questioning how I evaluated them. Yeah, I haven't fully, like I said, I just can't get behind. I mean, it's kind of fun if you look at this list. It's Ramondre Stevenson at plus 130, and then the next Patriot comes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After 7, it's Ramondre Stevenson, 7 Seahawks players, and then Antonio Gibson at plus 400 is the next Patriot. So I'm going to stay away a little bit, but my lean is the running backs in this game if I was going to bet anybody score, especially if Kenneth Walker plays. I'm giving out him to score. Patriots-wise, I want to say Ramondre Stevenson, but man, I don't know if I want to bet on the Patriots. I might just stay away from this game. This is awesome. Damn. Actually, I don't think this matters too much. Colts, they are now -3 against the Packers. It was 3.5. I'm surprised there's this much line movement towards the Packers. Just for the fact that Malik Willis is starting. So I just can't tell if people are that faithful in the Packer defense against the Colts, or if they really think that Lambeau's Field is going to matter that much. I just don't see how the Colts lose this game. Necessarily know what they cover. That's for debate. I wouldn't be shocked, they win this game by 1. They mess around with their food a little bit too much. But last week against the Texans, they ran like 40 plays to almost 80. Put up 27 points, only running 40 plays. Anthony Richardson had 9 completed passes, but 3 of them were deep bombs. So, I mean, we saw a little bit of everything in this offense. So, the fact that we did, I do like the Colts -3. I do think they should, especially with Malik Willis gone. Like I talked about a little bit earlier in the Pickem section. If Jordan Love is here, you have me where it's like, okay, maybe the Packers probably win this game. If anything, the Packers are probably favored by 3. I think this is damn near like a 6-point swing because of Malik Willis. I don't see a world where the Packers win this game with Malik Willis at quarterback. I think their offense is just going to have too many struggles. Due to that, I looked at an alternate spread. Alternate spread for the Colts. Minus 6.5 is now plus 172. Basically, I think the Colts will win this by about a touchdown. Assuming their talent shows out. Now, the biggest question with the Colts is their defense. They just lost their second-best corner to the year with a knee injury, I believe. I can't remember what type of injury it was, but we lost him for the year. Very, very concerning because the cornerback is the one position that Colts are the weakest at. And thankfully, for Malik Willis, one of the things he's weakest at as well is throwing touchdowns to receivers. So that's why I have the Colts minus 3, and I'm also going to take them minus 6.5. I just don't see how the Colts don't win this game. Touchdown-wise, they don't have any props out at all for these last few games, but I'm going to be taking AR and Jonathan Taylor to score. I'm probably going to be betting both those guys to score every single week, and one of them, or if not both of them, are going to hit. And it's going to be nice because at least if one hits, it's going to be a hedge most weeks, and then when the other one hits, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. Moving on, next game after, Jets minus 3.5 against the Titans. We talked a little bit about how high I am on the Jets this week. Jets, minus 3.5 is minus 110. I'm going to be taking Breece Hall to score again. Garrett Wilson to score a touchdown. Those are 2 guys I like. Breece Hall, minus 170, so we're going to just go to Garrett Wilson at plus 165. I'll give out Breece Hall, but I'm hoping he's going to drop by game day. That's minus 170 is way too big. And then Garrett Wilson is plus 165. I do like him. Rodgers targeted him a lot. Allen Lazard got the 2 touchdown passes, but Garrett Wilson got targeted a lot. Aaron Rodgers didn't look at the right side of the field, though. That was really concerning. And the only time he did look at the right side of the field, I believe, was when Garrett Wilson was over there. But for the most part, it was feed Garrett Wilson or give the ball to Breece Hall. I don't know if that's Aaron Rodgers not trusting the pocket enough to make more reads. I don't know if that's just him trying to feel out with his injury. I don't know if that's a game plan. I don't know what part of that was, so I'm ready to watch a little bit more of that. But until I see more, I really only have trust in Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson on this offense. Allen Lazard obviously earned some of my trust as well because Aaron Rodgers threw the ball a lot. But past that, I would not look at any other names until Aaron Rodgers proves he's going to throw the ball to somebody else. Tennessee-wise, Tony Pollard, plus 110. I like him if they're going to score a touchdown. I think that this defense is going to improve a little bit this week. So I do think that I don't want to take anybody on the Titans, but if I was, I would probably take Tony Pollard. Next best, if I had to pick somebody, I guess it would probably be Calvin Ridley, but that's really tying an arm behind my back. I only want to take Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson in this game, and yeah, past that, I don't think I'm taking anybody else. Commanders, Giants, 1.5 point spread on this game. I got nothing in this game, and of course, this game has all the passing, rushing, and receiving props up in the world. Jaden Daniels' rushing prop is over 51.5. I want to say take the over because he rushed for 80 yards last game, and right away he was looking to rush a lot, but we're going to hold off for now. We hit Brian Robinson to score a touchdown last week. Plus money. This week he's plus 210. Really good odds. This week he's plus 125. Jaden Daniels minus 105. Devin Singletary minus 120. I'm honestly going to... Wan'Dale Robinson at plus 280. He got a lot of targets from Jaden Daniels. Jesus. Daniel Jones. Holy hell. Jaden Daniels, Daniel Jones, JDDJ. That messed me up a little bit. So we're going to go Wan'Dale at plus 280. This is a bit of a stretch, but the fact that he got that many targets, I am going to look for him to score a touchdown. I like the odds. A little bit longer odds. We're going to pick anybody from the commies. Until he proves me he's going to throw the ball, we'll just stick with Daniels and Brian Robinson. Daniels is minus 105. Brian Robinson is... B-Rob is plus 125 to score a touchdown. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to stick for that game. I hope Malik Neighbors gets in the end zone. That'd be awesome for my fantasy team, but I want to see a bit more from Daniel Jones before I pick anybody else. And when it comes to Commanders, I want to see them actually throw the ball more down the field than once or twice behind Daniels. Rams, Cardinals. I mean, I feel like we don't have any props at all for this, but I'm probably going to look to take James Conner to score a touchdown. I'll probably look for Kyron Akupa-Cup to score a touchdown, especially with Puka Nacua out. Colby Parkinson, if I'm going to go for Nasty Boy, maybe. I do lean the Rams plus 1.5 here. Probably take Rams money line. I guess, you know what? Screw it. We'll take Rams plus 1.5. I'll give that out as a pick. I do think there's a chance the Cardinals win this game, though, so I'm very excited to watch this. I think this is gonna be one of the best games of the week, and this is at 4:05, so we'll get it. Only 3 games at 4:05, and 2 of the 3 of them are gonna be really, really good. Next one, Bengals plus 5.5 against the Chiefs. I don't have any bets in this game as of right now. Looking at touchdown-wise, maybe I'll go Xavier Worthy plus 155. If not, maybe go back to the well. Rasheed Rice plus 145. I think that might not be a bad play. Kelsey plus 125. Pacheco minus 135. If I had to pick 3 guys, I'm picking Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rasheed Rice. Those are my top 3. I don't know in what order to say for the Chiefs. And if I'm picking anybody for the Bengals, I guess it's going to be Zach Moss or Jamar Chase. Gesicki did get a target, so plus 290 isn't bad odds at all. But I'm probably just going to stay away from this game for the time being. When I write my article on Stare Down Sports here in... Probably write that article Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I'll probably start writing that Friday, maybe finish it up Saturday. So that's probably when I'll do a little bit more of a deep dive. But look out for bets on that game there because, yeah, as of right now, I haven't looked and found anything for sure that I like. And then for this one, we got Pittsburgh minus 2.5 over the Broncos. I believe this was 1.5 at one point, maybe. I could be definitely wrong about that. I do think the Steelers win this game. I don't know if I could take it, though. Fuck it. We'll take it. Steelers minus 2.5. We will give it out. A little bit nervous about it. As long as it stays under 2.5, I like it. If it goes to 3, I'm off it. If it goes to 1, I'll take it even more. But minus 142 on the money line, that might not be a bad play either. I honestly might be a little bit of a bitch and just take the minus 140 on the money line. I don't know, man. The Steelers are a hard team to figure out. Prop-wise, again, this is another game we'll have to... They didn't score a touchdown last week, so I don't know who to expect to score a touchdown from them. I need to watch their offense a little bit more carefully because, yeah, I haven't fully been... Not a fun offense so far. They still have some kinks to figure out. So, yeah, I got no bets really on that game. You got 2 night games. You'll see articles on these. Texans, I am going to take the Texans by 6.5. I do think I'm not going to say they roll here, but... If the Bears offense did what it did last week and it takes Caleb Williams a little bit longer to get going, minus 102 should not be an issue for C.J. Stroud. I do think that the Texans should win this game pretty handily, though. I don't think... And if it's one of those situations where the Bears cover, it might be a backdoor situation. It's going to be a tough assignment for the Bears defense. This Houston Texans team is really, really good. So unless they just have a letdown game after playing the Colts, I find it really hard for the Bears. I just don't see the Bears covering unless it's a backdoor situation. Joe Mixon scored touchdowns minus 145. I don't mind that. I'm actually going to go Tank Dell. We're going to go back to the well here. Tank Dell plus 210. I don't want to take anybody else because their odds aren't as good. Like, for example, Joe Mixon minus 145, not horrible. Collins and Stephon Diggs. I wouldn't mind either of those two, but Stephon Diggs caught 2 last week. I don't know if he's going to go for another one again this week. So we'll take him off. So maybe Nico Collins at plus 145. Bears-wise, no thank you. I want to watch a little bit more of their offense. Maybe we'll pick something if I need to do something for the night game to give it out, but for the most part, yeah, no props as well to give out there because we got to wait for him to come back, so right now I'm good. And then for the Monday night game, Eagles minus 6.5, that is for sure. Another one we got, I do think they roll in this game as well. Kirk Cousins did not look like he was ready to get hit too much, so he didn't look like he was enjoying getting hit. So we're going to take the Eagles minus 6.5 here, minus 114. Going to hopefully get it before it moves to 7. I think they win this game close to 10-ish, especially if the offense plays as bad as it did. The Falcons' offense is able to step up a little bit better. Should be a fun, competitive game. The way the Eagles looked, their offense is going to be... If they can keep guys healthy, that Eagles' offense is going to be pretty damn good. And that's another game as well, no props, so I'm going to have to come back and give you some... I'll just have to give you some more on the Stare Down Sports articles. Like I said, I know I've said that a lot, so feel free to check that out when I give them out when it comes out Saturday or Sunday morning, whichever one it is. It should be Saturday night, but that's when I'm gonna have all my props because all the props are locked right now, which is kind of weird. I'm assuming because of injuries. But with that being said, before we move on to college and finish it off today, I have a 9-leg teaser, 6-point teaser that I'm gonna give out. It's plus 1,400, 9 legs. It's a little bit of fun. I just fixed some odds because there's a lot of games that are 6 or 7, so I pretty much just brought it down to teams to win. But first game we got Bill. So I'm going to name the teams and then the number. So we got the Buffalo Bills, Dallas Cowboys, Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens, Indianapolis Colts, Houston Texans, and Philadelphia Eagles. So we got the Eagles moved down to a half point. Texans moved down to a half point. Colts are now plus 2.5. Wish I could have got that to plus 3. Would have for sure got the plus 3 now with the odds changing. So I like that a lot better at plus 3. Ravens minus 3.5. A little bit nervous they should roll in that game. Chargers minus a half. 49ers minus a half. Detroit Lions minus 1. Cowboys minus a half. And then we get the Bills at plus 8.5. This is basically it's 10 to win 140. It's not bad. I mean, I think these are all teams I think should win this games pretty much, and I pretty much brought it down to, hey, instead of covering and winning the game, just win the game for me, please. And for the Bills' case, they can lose by a touchdown, and for the Colts, they can lose by 2, similar to what happened last week. But that's the teaser I got going. I look forward to that hitting. All my nasty boys will create tomorrow. I got nothing off the top of my head because no props are really out, so we'll have to do that later in the week. So now I'll finish off. I got 12 bets for sure for college. So we got some college bets quickly to burn through. We'll burn through these because, like I said, we've already gone pretty long. Arizona, I got them plus 7.5. They are taking on Kansas State. I am a bit nervous about this one, but this is pretty much a bet, and I like Arizona's offense. I like their quarterback wide receiver combo between I don't know how to say the dude's name at quarterback. I'm not even gonna try and McMillan, wide receiver. I'm not even gonna try to say his first name either. But no, I genuinely think Arizona has a chance to win this game here, but I'm at least going to keep them to keep it within a touchdown. Give us a fun little Friday night game. With college football, it should be a little bit exciting. Wait, is that on Saturday? No, why can't I? I was going to say the quarterback's name, but I literally can't find the game now, of course. So now I have to go out of my way to buy some time so I can find Buddy's name. And now it's not going to load. Fafita. That's what, Noah Fafita. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Noah Fafita McMillan. T. McMillan. Now, I'm going to need to practice that off camera because I had that working a little bit. And yeah, and then I just butchered it right there. So it's like, yeah, let's save that. Moving on, though. So yeah, Arizona plus 7.5. I look for them to keep it close against Kansas State. At least keep it within a touchdown. This one, this is going to be on the chopping room floor. So I'm going to write this one in red. This is not fully official, but South Carolina plus 7.5. This is minus 130 right now. They have a really good pass rush that I'm really excited to watch. Man, I won't even lie to you. That probably was the worst spelling of Carolina I've ever seen. I'm going to take them plus 7.5. It's like I said, it's minus 130. I look for them to at least another team to keep it close within a touchdown. The SEC has been kind of down this year. So it's going to be interesting to see like how down it is, or if there's still some teams that are way above here compared to others, or if it's a little bit more parity in it. But I am excited to watch Dylan Stewart against LSU. Dylan Stewart has impressed me so far these last 2 weeks for South Carolina. We mentioned it Tuesday. That boy is going to get a lot of money to leave South Carolina. So I'm curious to see if he does it, but that's so far in the future right now. We're worried about them week 2, so I got South Carolina plus 7.5. Very excited to see how that game goes. Oklahoma State minus 19.5. They about blew it last week. I think this is a potential chance for them to they take on Tulsa. I think this is a chance for them just to like get the demons out. That's minus 105, minus 19.5. Just I think they win by 3 touchdowns. I think they just get Ollie Gordon rolling, get Alan Bowman back to play just better. He looked a little bit sketchy against Arkansas, so I'm very excited to see if Oklahoma State can bounce back here. Really good opportunity for them. We're going to go to the MAC now. Shout out the MAC. We got Miami of Ohio plus 3.5. They are playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati had a very, very tough game last week. They basically, I don't want to say blew it, but they had a really good chance to win that game, and they kind of missed an opportunity to do it. So now coming back, they're going to Miami of Ohio. I look for Miami of Ohio to play a really tough game, and they're a home dog. I look for them to at least keep it close. Anything can happen in the MAC. We've learned that from years and years of watching. So very excited to see how Miami of Ohio does, hoping they can defend home turf and at least keep it within 3. If not, I think they can damn near win it outright with how talent isn't, I guess, the best word, but with how veteran-y they are, how old they are, all those old men in the MAC. No, I just think Miami of Ohio has a good chance to keep it close, and with how Cincinnati blew it late against Pitt last week, so hey, if they blow it late again, we got plus 3 at least this time. Notre Dame minus 10.5 against Purdue. This is I know I said I was done with this team, but this is this is me my last chance to bet them all year, pretty much. Notre Dame minus 9.5. We're gonna make that in red. I don't know if I'm gonna give that out officially, but they're playing They're playing Purdue, And Purdue is not the best team this year, but shit. NIU, I didn't think NIU was the best team in the country, and Notre Dame wasn't able to get anything done. But this is potentially a spot where Notre Dame gets some demons right. They travel to Purdue, though. -9.5. We'll see. Like I said, I'm not officially giving this out, but it might make the list. Virginia Tech -13.5. They're taking on ODU in Old Dominion. I just look for Tech to roll here. This is a team that I had potentially making the college football playoffs. So, I mean, they won last week against Marshall. They get another chance to, after losing to Vanderbilt, they beat Marshall, and now they get a chance to beat up on an Old Dominion team. -13.5. Look good for them to win here by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. So, I'm going to take it. Yeah, I'm very nervous about this. If they don't cover this game, I might just be completely off Virginia Tech for the rest of the year until they figure some shit out. But I think this is good. They looked like they figured some stuff out last week, so I'm ready to trust them again a little bit, and we'll see if they're able to get a little bit back on track and win here. This is another team that I'm not going to say looked back on track, but at least looked a little bit better last week. Jacksonville State. We're going to take... Man, they looked horrible against Coastal Carolina. So now we're going to take them here against Eastern Michigan. They are plus money. Eastern Michigan had a rough game last week. Jacksonville State, I think it's lost again last week as well. But I don't know. I think they're going to be a little bit better in this game. Only plus 104. This looks like it's going to be a close game. Eastern Michigan isn't the best of teams. So I just look for Jacksonville State to get a win on the board and look a little bit better. Georgia -24.5. They're playing Kentucky. I just think that Kentucky's offense is awful. They benched their quarterback that they got in the transfer portal from Georgia in the second game already. I know it's because of the score, potentially, but not a good look. They put up almost nothing on offense last week. Over-unders at like 40. They put up 6 against South Carolina, and I know they had Dylan Stewart there in South Carolina, but now they put up 6 in them, and I'm pretty sure Kentucky was home in that game. Now they're home, and they have Georgia coming in. I don't see how they score more than 10. I think this is a 30-10 type game, potentially, at best, and if that's the case, then that's an easy cover for Georgia. So I look for Georgia to cover in this game and beat Kentucky handily. We're going to write this one in red. This is another one I'm not... UCF -2.5. Can't give you a good reason why I want to take them. It was just sticking out to me. It's the fact it was -2.5 from Wells. Like, oh, that's a key number. So I was sitting there. This is another road team, though, so I don't know if I'm fully going to take it. But that's a team I was looking at where they at least made the list. I don't have a good reason why I wanted to take them. I was just looking at them. It's like, man, I think I like that number, but so that's we'll see. I don't know if they're going to make the list for sure. Colorado -7.5. They won me some money last week. They're taking on Colorado State. -7.5 is plus 100. I think that this is an exercise in demon games. Colorado State is not nearly as competitive or good as they were. I guess they weren't competitive or as good. I should have put quotes around good instead of competitive. They aren't competitive or good as they were last year. So this is a good, like Colorado -7.5. I think this is a lot of, we remember what happened last year type game, and now it's at Colorado State. But truly, I think Colorado should roll here. They have no reason to mess around. This is one of the few games left in their schedule where, hey, it's only 7.5. They should be able to win this game by 10 plus. Should is the key word. This is a good chance for Shadur to put up some numbers. Like said, Travis Hunter. This is a good game for them to roll. I think they're going to exercise some demons, and I think I would not be shocked if Dion tries to run it up a little bit, especially after last year. So it might give me the -7.5 there. Speaking of running it up, Nebraska -27.5 over Northern Iowa. Nebraska kind of put it in park last week against Colorado. They went up 28. I think 28-7 pretty much, and they could have went up even more, but they just kind of put it in park almost. So -27.5 here. I mean, my thinking is if they can beat Colorado by 28-10, and it's basically a back, or 28-13, whatever that score was, where Colorado gets a backdoor cover, damn near, of a 24. I mean, if they beat Colorado by almost 20, I think they should be able to beat Northern Iowa by almost 30. Especially if I think the defensive line will be able to harass Northern Iowa a lot. So I look for the Nebraska to win by at least 30. If they give up more than 10 to 15 points, not going to be an issue. Last bet I have to give out for today. This is one of the scariest bets, I think. Air Force plus 15.5. This is just a complete fade of Baylor. DeQuan Finn doesn't look like he looked at Toledo. I'm not saying too much because obviously it's only the first or second games of the season, but he still has a little bit of ways to go. And Air Force has been they've been pretty nice to me the last few years. They've been a really fun team to bet on. With how bad Baylor is, I think this is a chance at 15.5. Key number. I'm not going to say key number because 17.5 would have been amazing, but I think Air Force can potentially keep this game within 2 touchdowns, so I'm going to take them there to do just that. So, bam, that's going to do it for today. Just run over the bets, no props, straight bets. So, we got Bills plus 2.5. Those are all props. 49ers minus 6.5. Chargers minus 6.5. Colts minus 3. Jets minus 3.5. And remember, in the 49ers, Chargers, Colts games, might look at some alternate spreads there for, I think they might roll. Rams plus 1.5. Steelers minus 2.5. Texans minus 6.5. Eagles minus 6.5. College-wise, we got Arizona plus 7.5 on Friday. South Carolina plus 7.5 is a maybe. UCF minus 2.5 is a maybe. The rest of these, Oklahoma State minus 19.5. Yep. Miami of Ohio plus 3.5. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville State money line. Come on. Virginia Tech minus 13.5. Excuse me. Georgia minus 24.5. Looking for them to roll against Kentucky. Nebraska minus 27.5. Looking for them to roll against Northern Iowa. And Air Force plus 15.5. Keep it close against Baylor. And Colorado minus 7.5. Looking for them to roll all over Colorado State. Like I said, though, that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all the support. Really do appreciate it. Feel free to check out Stay On Sports if you're curious on any other bets I'm going to take. Like I said, I mentioned it multiple times throughout the show because as the weeks go on, I'm going to mention it like less and less where it's like, hey, mention at the beginning, mention it at the end. That's about it. But check out Stay On Sports if you're curious on any other bets I'm going to take. Every bet I give out on here is going to be on that article. Plus probably 2 or 3 more because there's a few guys I love to listen to that give out some bets they like that I'll admit, I'm not going to say I straight up steal them, but I borrow them because it's like, man, hey, I really like what you have to say there. And then I look at it from my angle. So you might see a few more of those on there. You might see just a few more bets that I missed. Like, oh, maybe I just missed the game completely. It's like, oh, wait, I actually really love this number. That's going to be on Stay On Sports if I do that. Shout out to, obviously it's 9/11 today. I didn't say anything about the intro, which I'm an idiot for. I should have brought that up. Took me way too long to bring it up. I meant to save it for right before I hopped in, and I got so excited I just hopped right in. Shout out to all those who lost their lives that day. Shout out to all those who have dealt with it. And obviously never forget, big moment in U.S. history when that happened. And, man, it's just crazy to think that it's been, now almost 23 years since 9/11. Absolutely insane. So, again, shout out to all those who lost their lives that day. Shout out to all the firefighters and everybody else who helped out that day. And, man, shout out to the USA, man. Shout out to the good old US of A. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for the support. I really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday to break down all of these games. And, hey, if you want to check me out, shout out to my boy Rowan. Hopefully he'll be okay. There's a hurricane potentially going to hit Louisiana. And I do know my boy, Louisiana boy, down there in the south. Hopefully he'll be okay. Assuming he's okay, I'll be appearing on Captain by Hook tomorrow with the red beard. If that's not the case, so you can either check me out there. And if that's not the case, see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday to break down Week 2 and Week 2 of NFL, Week 3 of college football.